y'all, Jacob. You're watching the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. Just got done with my first official fire tactics class. It was absolutely fantastic. This class was held in Camden, Tennessee at Tactical Response. Huge shout out to Tactical Response. They were amazing hosts. We had Joey in the class as well as his son. I was so happy to see some younger kids in this class. It really is amazing to me to see these awesome parents who are prioritizing firearms and survival type training for their kids at a young age. It's really cool. So as my first class, well, after action report here, if you will, there were a few things that are a little rough around the edges. For instance, before I set people out to start making their fires, I didn't necessarily talk about your kindling and tinder organization beforehand and helping people to get organized so they could quickly transition from their tinder to their kindling and to their primary fuel. And so I wish I would have done that. I could have done a lot more for my safety brief in the beginning, especially when it came to medical. Luckily, I know the people in class. We had a solid EMT. We had multi-alumnists there, and it was a good deal. But that needs to go into the notes for the future classes. Not concerned about this class. If something had happened, it would have been handled incredibly well and quickly. But besides that, I think things went relatively smoothly. I was pretty happy with the course flow. I had practiced it, and I think the timing was relatively good. The most important thing here in class was context. You know, if you want to learn how to shoot, you can compete, that's fine, but take a fighting class first so that while you're learning how to compete, you have context for what is good on the range, what is good in competition, and what is not, and what is a fighting priority, because they're not always the same. So in this class, we got a little bit on the primitive side with friction fires and bow drill fires, but we stayed more on the practical end of the spectrum and gave a lot of the criteria for what, when, and how. And I think that's what is going to be separating this class from other classes on the market. I encourage people to carry their rifles in class. However, for carrying a rifle in class, I expected you to handle your rifle properly, but this was a fire tactics class. And so the tactics are what we hit on, and it really, I think, gave students a unique context when they left. And I think that's going to be the real value of the class. It's a fantastic time once again. A little side note, I have this decent sleeping bag that I'd never used. Every time I brought it out, I gave it to somebody else. So I'd sleep with my Snug Pack jungle bag and a bivvy. At one point, I even slept in a bivvy with no sleeping bag, maybe even just a poncho liner and stuff like that. I was always lending it out. It was the first time I used it for myself, and oh my gosh. I was like, is this what other people's camping experiences is like? I was warm. I was cozy. It was amazing. Like, what is this? I even had a sleeping pad. So just to give a little bit of backstory, mid-deployment in 2009, someone stole my puss pad. Probably someone in my platoon. And ever since, I've been sleeping rough. I sleep on the ground, no push pad, no this, no that, no the other. I just sleep cold, sleep miserable, whatever. So I will say, this is the first time in over a decade that I've slept outside and actually had some decent sleeping gear, decent sleeping setup, and been comfortable. And it was nice. It was very nice. I think I will prioritize carrying more sleeping gear more often. But that's besides the point. Got dirty, had a great time. Got a bow drill, got a good coal going with a cedar heartboard and a random green wood drill. I fire hardened and dried that green wood drill tip, and it worked fantastic, and I was really happy to see that work out. The more stuff you flub and get further away from what is ideal, the harder things can be, so it's good to learn how you can make stuff work when you need to. Going forward, guys, fire tactics will continue to be a thing. I believe it will continue to be a very unique class opportunity, and the next class I want to get into is probably going to be camouflage tactics, and I hope to get Justin Vidito in on that. And that might be the most important class a civilian could ever take, and simultaneously it is the most lacking class on the civilian market. And hopefully that'll be a 2-day class. It would be a big deal, and I'm not familiar with, I know that some other schools touch on some camouflage and do a good job with it. I'm not familiar with any that will spend a solid 2 days where that's all their focus is camouflage. It's more than what you wear, guys. So that's what I've got. Lord willing, we'll have a calendar up for the 2023 training schedule, and I'm hoping to train everywhere from Texas up to Maine and Michigan, probably staying more on the East Coast next year. However, I might go out west, go up to Idaho and Washington State as well. We'll just have to see how things are going and how classes book. Currently, guys, the best way to stay up to date with what I'm doing is probably here on YouTube, Instagram. I've got both the Preppers Bunker Outdoors, the name of that may change, as well as Jacob_TPBO_Peterson. That will be a good way to see what's going on. And also my websites, beachandtactical.com and exodusknifeandtool.com. Currently I'm doing classes through exodusknifeandtool.com. So that might be a good way to stay up to date there. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up. It's gone far too long as it is. Man, I look forward to these classes, and it's been an amazing experience. So I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you in the comment section below.